All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. I want to say I'm so excited to be here. Good to see you. Good to see you. I will do our introduction, and then I'll make sure that as people are trickling in and joining us, we include them as well. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. There's no, like, we're going to do this all at the end. If anything comes up, please, please, please feel free to ask me. All right, so this is the webinar From Invisible Work to Career Wins. So if you're here, you are definitely in the right place. I would like to encourage people to drop their information, like their LinkedIn, into the chat. I will do as well, so that all of you guys have my information and you can learn more about me as well. So let me go ahead and do that. And also, this webinar will be recorded and available on my website and in YouTube within about a day or so. So with that said, I am Ariel. I'm your host today. I am a revenue operations coach and founder of Infinitely Elevated. And let me go ahead and drop my information into the chat. Hi, Lester. Good to see you joining. Okay, and we're just getting started. You haven't missed anything. I am just encouraging folks to drop their information into the chat if you feel comfortable. I am sending mine over now, so you have every way to reach me, whether it's my LinkedIn, email, website. You can see testimonials, as well as at the end, a link to book a career strategy session with me. Those are free. So just to kind of understand exactly what's going on with your job search or career journey, so that I can help you uncover any challenges you may be facing. Okay, so that said, let me skip over. And like I said, if you have questions, feel free to ask me. We can kind of pause and keep going, and there will be a section at the end for Q&A. And like I said, this is the webinar From Invisible Work to Career Wins, Transform Your Hidden Contributions into Transferable Skills. So you're in the right place. So all righty, y'all. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why I am offering this webinar. It's really to give people, women, because this is Women's History Month, the tools and relevant advice to take charge of their careers. Background about me. So I've spent over 14 years growing my career in revenue operations and program management in the Silicon Valley Bay Area. I think I've talked a little bit about becoming a trusted advisor to dozens of C-suite and VP executives in the Silicon Valley Bay Area, and that's B2B SaaS tech specifically. And I built a reputation of making complex things very simple, and really thinking through, like, just my keen ability to make strong cross-functional, like, relationships and using my intuition to drive results. I will say all of that success didn't come without some hurdles along the way. Early on, I found myself being passed over for promotions and career growth opportunities because I sucked at advocating for myself. And I'm like, nah, not no more. We can't do this. How do I uncover things that are holding me back so that I can move forward? So now I am a career coach, and I'm helping job seekers and revenue operations / go-to-market professionals achieve their career goals with better clarity and guidance. So my goal today is to educate, empower, and elevate more people especially people of color in tech. And I have a mission, y'all. It is a big mission, but my mission is to positively impact 1,000 careers by the end of this year. So by virtue of you being here, you are already part of that impact. And I want to make sure that things are more focused toward your goals as well. And like I said, feel free to stop me if you have any questions along the way. All right. So this is a quick welcome. So just talking about, because like I said, this is Women's History Month. So women and a lot of people of color often take on high impact but unrecognized work. I think we've all kind of been there, and I'll talk to you about some more of the experiences that I've had as well, and some with clients who are currently experiencing this frustration. You are not alone. So self-advocacy is the power to is a power move that leads to promotions and pay increases. So today we'll cover identifying invisible work, quantifying your contributions, storytelling your value, and leveraging AI and career coaching to elevate your success. And like I said, if anyone has any questions, feel free to come off mute. You can also drop it in the chat. I am paying attention to that as well. And then we're going to keep going. I want to make sure that we have a good amount of time for Q&A. All right, so how do we identify invisible work? There are 6 different types that I have here, and everybody can see my screen okay, right? Just give a thumbs up. You can see it okay? Or come off mute and say, yes, we got you. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sierra. All right, so there's 6 ways that I've kind of like identified types of invisible work. We're going to go through each one. So just briefly here and just kind of take it in. So the first one is the team glue. So keeping projects running smoothly, but oftentimes you get no credit. The second one is a mentor without the title. So you're supporting your teammates without formal recognition. The third is the efficiency machine. That was me heavily improving processes, but it isn't measured. The fixer solves problems before they escalate. This one was huge to me. Like, I do not like seeing the train coming together to collide. Like, that was painful to watch and experience, and so I always tried to prevent that in my prior roles. Number 5, the office culture champion. So leads DEI initiatives, wellness or engagement initiatives for employees. And last but not least, being the go-to person. So the team relies on you, but leadership just doesn't see it. They're just not aware. So to be frank, I've been all of these at one point in my career. So as you're reading through these, I encourage you all to drop in the chat if you feel like you have been one or two of them or all of the above, however you are resonating with the types of invisible work that you could do. So team glue, that's number 1. The mentor efficiency machine, just drop in the chat the number that corresponds to what you think you've been doing that's been invisible. And I'm taking a peek right here. And as you're doing that, I'll tell you another story. This is a story about another layer of invisibility, which some people might be difficult to relate to, but I'm going to share it anyway. So back in the day, I worked at a telecommunications company. Okay, I see number 3, efficiency machine. Thank you, keep them coming. I was the first of 3 hires in that role, and honestly, I created a training manual and I trained the US-based team. And so when it came time to build out and train the team in the UK, they actually sent my colleague instead with my training manual. Can you imagine how upsetting, frustrating, honestly, how pissed I was to find out that they had pegged her as a person to go instead of me with all of my background and being that go-to person. So I see number 2 and number 6. So the mentor without the title, go-to person, straight up. Keep him coming. It took a lot for me because I was pretty earlier on in my career, but I did muster up the courage to question my manager, stating that, like, hey, I'm the go-to person for literally everything. And what she said, like, literally shook me. She said, yeah, that's why we need you here. Because everybody comes to my desk, they come to me like directly in this seat in this location. So that was kind of her excuse of saying like why we need you here versus literally giving my opportunity to showcase my my effort and value in a whole nother way. This was code for we only see you doing what you're doing right now. You're highly visible as a go-to person, but invisible when it comes to growth opportunities. And so what that meant for me in my career at the time was that A, there's no career growth. B, no opportunity to showcase my value um, for performance reviews. And then C, no opportunity to get an increase or bonus. And I'm like, y'all messing with my money now. Messing with my money. So now at that time, I said, I vowed never again. Never, ever again am I going to allow an opportunity for all the work that I'm doing to kind of slip through my fingers and not advocate for myself. Um, so if any of this is already starting to resonate with you, I see numbers in the chat around different types of invisible work. You can always book your career strategy session with me. I literally had a session yesterday with someone. I was talking to her about, she just got a new role and she's like, I'm trying to set myself up for success. Great. Here's some ways to strategize on doing that in the short term, but we also do need to think about your long-term goals as well. Um, I'll pause there because this one kind of was a loftier slide. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat. Let me know. You can come off mute if you need to. Not yet. Don't be shy. Okay, I will keep going just for the sake of time. Like I said, I want us to have a really awesome Q&A session. And then as you're dropping those questions into the chat, I can address them during Q&A as well. So the next slide is why recognizing invisible work matters. So I talked a little bit about my experience and then not vowing to say never again, not again, not to me. But what I did to turn the things around. So the first thing is if you don't track it, it doesn't count. I literally had to learn to speak the language of the executives and give them something tangible and meaningful, valuable. So the next one is turning invisible work into data that is undeniable. I'll talk a little bit about how you can do that, but I was in tech for quite a while, and data is the devil's in the data, but also the elevation is in that data too. So what happens when you make your work visible? There are more career opportunities, stronger negotiation power, and increased leadership potential. So if any one of those three things are resonating with you and where you want to be in your career, this is why we're going to learn to churn the ship around. And like I said, if there's any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I will definitely address them as we go. All right, so huge slide, but let's talk about how to quantify your invisible work. The first is to track and measure your impact. You want to frame it in business terms and then do some storytelling around your value. All right, so let's get into the first one. So track and measure your impact. There are tools out there where you can use Toggle Track to log the time you spent on extra work or work outside of your role and responsibility. There's Notion or ClickUp to document process improvements. There's all kinds of free templates there. And you can even use ChatGPT for work journaling and summarizing your contributions. Say, can you give me a concise way to state that I have provided value in A, B, or C way, and help me structure it in my performance review so that it shows impact and value. And you can put the quantifiable metrics in there as well, and leverage ChatGPT to help you kind of come up with those crisp statements for your performance review or even during your one-on-ones. I leaned into something a little bit more when I said speak in their language. So that's moving us to the second point, which is frame it in business terms. Instead of saying, I help new hires, try, I created an onboarding guide that cut ramp up time by 30%, allowing new hires to contribute faster. Honestly, that is the whole point, especially in tech, but more companies as well. Like either, how do I say, the focus when it comes to us as employees is to, can we reduce time to do something? Can we increase revenue to do something? Will we minimize cost? Will we build revenue? We want to really make sure that we're speaking in business terms. So KPIs or key performance indicators or OKRs. So your organization's key, sorry, your OKRs are your key responsibilities. So what are you doing that's lending toward the business goals? Again, if you have questions, if I'm going too fast, slow me down. This is time for you. You have joined this webinar, so I want to make sure you get the most out of it. So that's why I say always do things that are going to help with your storytelling, with data gathering, to kind of build your case, if you will. So the last part is storytelling. There's a lot of folks out there, including myself early in my career, where I truly thought my hard work would speak for itself. If I just show up, I'm dependable, I'm loyal, I do great work, I will be rewarded. People will see me, I will be seen, and I will be rewarded with whether it is a promotion, a pay increase, a bonus, spot bonus, whatever it is, right? But like I said, for myself and clients that I am working with, that is not the case all the time. We have great leaders out there. I'm not going to shun them in any way, but for the most part, like things are moving so fast that sometimes leadership doesn't take that time to slow down and to recognize and even reward you for your contributions and the added value that you bring to their organization. So I often preface this with, there are more than one storytelling techniques. You can go on YouTube, you can find a whole host of them to help use a method that makes the most sense for you, your role, and the organization, and how they want to see the impact. So choose a storytelling technique that is applicable to your industry to showcase your work. So I mentioned the STAR method, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that method. It can be used in your one-on-ones, it can be used in your performance reviews, it can be used in the interview process if you're job searching as well. So the STAR method is situation, starting with the S. What was the challenge? Task. What role did you play? The A. What steps or actions did you take beyond the expectations? And last but not least, the R. What measurable impact did you achieve? So if you can, drop a star or the word star in the chat if you'd like some more storytelling techniques, and I can point you in the directions of some that are already in existence as well. And like I said, any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We are near the end of our presentation today. So the last slide really is elevate your success with coaching. So you've identified your impact. I've seen that, you've dropped in some of the ways that you are showing up to help organizations, but maybe it's not rewarded or recognized just yet. So we see that. Now what? So strategy matters. It is really turning your work into career leverage with guidance. Okay, so I'm offering here to book a career strategy session with me. I mentioned that a little bit earlier on. I'll put the link back in here in the chat to book with me. I will talk a little bit about some of my offerings as well. I have 2 programs and some kind of meet you where you are offerings. So with the programs, I have a job seeker program. It's just about 4 weeks, just depending on how fast you want to move. But really, we're covering 4 key areas. So we're talking about putting that power back in your hands to revamp your own resume and not hire anyone to revamp your resume for you. We're talking about optimizing LinkedIn, so how to use it in a more efficient and effective way. Creating an effective job search strategy. Right now, I am hearing lots and lots of people talking about, like, I will just apply anywhere and see what lands. And to be honest, y'all, that's not a strategy and you will burn out. I would say definitely getting specific. So if you can be specific on 1 to 2 things in your career, something that you do well. And showcase that before like just saying I can do anything. It's very, very critical there. And last but not least, interview prep and practice. That is so critical. So once you've done all this work with your resume, your LinkedIn, your job search strategy, we want to make sure we're actually getting the offer. So like, let's not slow down. We're actually going to, pump, kick things into high gear to make sure that you are set up for success. And there are some ongoing group sessions that I offer with that as well. I have revenue operations, leadership development program, but I don't think that that is quite applicable to this group here that we have. I've kind of taken a look at all of you guys' LinkedIn, but I'll talk about it. It's just a 6-week program to coach you toward a path to a promotion or a raise, offer ongoing support through the RevOps roundtables that I have. Those are discussions where we have a topic of the month, and then we kind of go into sharing stories and really networking with each other to either uncover certain challenges. So like I said, use the link to book your career strategy session with me. That will be really, really insightful to help me help you even better in what you're experiencing in your job search or with your career. I will also talk about some success stories as well while you guys are taking the time right now to book your career strategy session. So a client of mine, she was in social work. She was getting interviews, but she's like, I'm just not getting the offer, and this sucks. And so we worked together for less than a week, y'all. She got 3 offers in 3 days, and she now has a role that she really wanted at Kaiser, doing social work there. And then I have another client recently in the B2B SaaS tech. They went from a career pivot from partner management to customer experience. We actually slowed down, like we were really ramping up, but then we decided that the best bet for her, because she was doing a career pivot, was to slow down and be intentional about focusing her strengths in AI and customer experience. So we've done that, and she is on her way, y'all. So like I said, book your career strategy session. I think I just started to see someone's come through. Great, great. Okay, cool, cool. I will be disabling after this webinar to be able to book the career strategy session. So that's why I'm really encouraging folks to do it now. There's a lot coming up on my plate. There's a lot of clients that I serve. So I just want to make sure that I get everyone in and I can prioritize and put you first. You can also check out my website and YouTube video to get a breadth or depth of like how it is to work with me. You'll see some of my past videos to help you out as well. They're there. Let's see. Alrighty. And then anyone who books today, you will receive a special offer from me. I want to make sure that I am putting information in your hands that you need in real time. So I have some free templates available. So how to quantify those invisible tasks and track them. And then I also have some other stuff on Notion, and I can also give you the storytelling template as well. So just book with me, or if you want to put a thumbs up like, hey, I'm interested in these things, let me know. And then our final thoughts. So key takeaways: your work deserves recognition. I do want you to walk away knowing that, like, there is a part of us that wants to be like, have a great heart, do great things. But we also want to make sure that it gets the recognition it deserves, because it does have impact. Any little thing that you do, it's worth being recognized. Secondly, track, quantify, and communicate your impact. Last but not least, use AI and a career strategy session to level up faster. So that's the end of it. I wanted to make sure that I just just said thank you for all of you that were able to join. I know it was a lot of me talking. Didn't get quite a few questions, but I want to, encourage you. Thank you, Sierra. Encourage you to come off mute if you feel comfortable, or drop those questions into the chat so that we can figure out what's going on. How can I help? Thank you, Danielle. Okay. All right. Is there anything that you're facing or have faced in your career where you're like, I need some help? And then while I'm kind of asking you all to share with me, I'm just going to put this screen back up. So the types of invisible work that's out there, if you feel comfortable sharing a story. I've got a couple others, but I don't want to take all the airtime.
Hi, everyone. My name's Danielle. Um, I'm looking at a few of these in my last position, but one that kind of like stands out for me is the office culture champion. So, and I actually still work with them like today, even though I'm not working for the company. So, the the ERG was called Being, and it's what we call Black group, and lovingly. Um and for that group, I did like all of their like merge and things like that, because I do graphic design also. And so what I still do their swag and things like that. But it was interesting while I was doing, or while I was on the committee for Being, they wouldn't not being wouldn't my employer didn't really look at the work that we did as valid. Sorry, didn't mean to like, beat around the whole bush trying to get that out, but yeah.
Let me talk about that too, because that's actually, Danielle, where my story is lending to that as well. So, back in the day in tech, I was in revenue operations, and then COVID hit, and engagement was down. I mean, we remember how it was with COVID, and George Floyd happened, and how do I say this? So it was COVID, it was like the era where George Floyd happened, and we were all up in arms and we're trying to figure out what to do. And at that time, I was like, if I'm going to show up here every day with like the world on fire and things happening like this to people like George Floyd, who wasn't even guilty of doing anything, um, then I need to be able to show up as my authentic self. So me and another person that worked there at the time decided to co-lead this. And I ended up doing so for like 2 years, and like weekly, when I say events, virtual events where I am coming up with the topic, the content for the presentation, figuring out how we can have a mindful minute because people needed to de-stress somehow. And so that was not even my job on top of my job. And then people came to expect it. So Women's History Month, Black History Month, doing something for Latinos and something for all, like making sure that every single culture was represented, even though I only identify as a Black woman. And that was super tough. And I was like, I gotta find a way to get some recognition out of this. I did. We can talk more about that. Thank you, Danielle. We can talk more about that. But when they came to expect, and I'm like, okay, well, y'all, we need a budget. We need to call ourselves something. I need a committee. I need to be able to talk to the CEO directly. Like things will now have to change. Um, so that I can be successful. And so, because a lot of what I was doing wasn't actually my job, I needed a way to tailor it to my job so that I was getting the level of visibility to my leadership and promotions as well. So that did happen. It just took a while. Um, But it was also something for me too. I'm like, if I know I need it, I'm a pretty strong individual, that I know there's other people that need it too. Not saying that they're weak or anything else, but um, at that time it was super tough. And thank you, Danielle, for sharing. That was my story too, and I resonate wholeheartedly with that. And I just want to be mindful, it is 12:30, so if you have to hop or drop off, I totally get it and understand. For those that want to continue to share, I can even stop the recording because we have finished the webinar and we can continue the discussion. I can keep going.
I do have to jump. I'm sorry that I was
Okay,
late and have to jump on time,
no worries.
but thank you so much for holding space for this. I really do appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate it. And have a good meeting. Whatever's next in your day, enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Same to you. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Sierra, did you have anything that is kind of happening or you feel comfortable sharing? Just wanted to give you some space as well.
Um, I don't really have a story to share. I guess I just kind of like frustrated in my position with my job right now, and I just really trying to find a way to move on to the next level. Um,
Is that so you're frustrated with your job, but does that mean you want to stay at the company and you just want a higher title, or does that mean moving out?
um, Considering the market right now, I mean, I wouldn't mind staying at my I would like to stay at my company or because I work for the government,
Uh,
local government. So it's been pretty stable. I've been there for 8 years, but I just haven't been able to move into a different position. So whether I stay here or go somewhere else, I just really need career growth. So
mhm.
my issue is just finding something that I could do to help myself stand out and while also trying to stay educated on new things that are rapidly advancing in the IT world because I do work in IT.
Uh,
So, yeah.
yeah, book a session. They're free. So this is what we talk about, exactly that, like ways to uncover like untapped opportunities and figuring out how can we connect the dots of where you are today and where you want to be in your future or near future, if you will. So I'll say I want,
Okay.
yeah, encourage you to book a session with me. That's exactly what I talk about. It's not just the job search. Yes, I have an avenue to be able to be um, to help you through that as well if that's what you choose, but a lot of it when it comes to like leadership development, that is also under my purview as well, and so I'm totally comfortable doing that and we can explore it together. And there is no pressure, no pressure. I'm just
Okay.
at least have the conversation with me.
Yeah, I would love to book a session, but if you could DM me the link because I'm literally like in the pickup line to get my son from school.
Got it. You know,
So,
send it in
yeah.
because I know we're connected. I'll go ahead and send it in LinkedIn.
Okay, thank you. And I'm gonna drop right here. So, but
Okay.
I thank you for reminding me and constantly DM me. I'm glad I really came to your session. It was very informative and I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Drive safely. Give the kiddos big hugs and kisses. And we will be in touch soon.
All right, thank you so much. Bye,
All right.
ladies.
Thanks here. Bye.